Today I'm going to be sharing through my favorite exercises or drills you could call them to help a player to get their trail side through the shot better without using any training aids or devices. So I'm going to hit a few for you today, taking you through these drills, and hopefully you'll find something here that connects with you that you can use out on the range if you're kind of getting a little bit stuck getting through the shot. Thanks for joining me again, everyone. So today looking at three of my favorite exercises or drills, we'll just call them for today, to help players to get through the shot better with their trail side. Today though, we're going to be doing exercises without any training aids or bands or anything like that. I do like bands a lot for training players to help to get through the shot. I think they can be really helpful. So maybe I'll do a bands version of this at some point in the near future. But today just using the club for those scenarios when you're out on the range and you just feel like you're getting a bit stuck and you don't really have the stuff that you would normally use to help you to get space. Okay, so starting off with the first one. The first one is simply to get set up and then just imagine that there's a ball inside the one that you're set up to. So if you think about what I'm doing here, my intent is to swing to the top and rehearse down to an impact position on the inside ball. So I'm learning how to create space. Now, I'm not actually going to hit this. I mean, you could hit that inside ball if you wanted to for a really extreme feel. I typically don't, though. It's usually there just as something to rehearse to. I mean, I would typically do a couple of rehearsals to the inside ball. And while I'm doing this, the key thing when I'm helping a player here is that I don't want the player to just create space by going back on their heels, because that's often what a lot of players do. And they think of keeping space so they can get their trail side through it. They'll actually think, well, I'm going to go right back on my heels. But essentially what we want to happen to create this space is we're actually going to push off our toes. So in backswing, to create space so I can feel like I have the room to hit the inside ball, I'm actually pushing off the inside of my left foot to get my right hip right out the way, okay? And on the way down, I'm pushing off the inside of my right foot to get my left hip out the way. And that's what we want to see in the golf swing, how we use our feet to create that space. So very much a lower body oriented drill when you have this one. So I've done my rehearsals there. I'm just going to move that one out of the way now. I mean, it's a good one you can even use on the golf course. You can almost rehearse it in there like so. And then when you're ready, you've got a good feel for it. Hit a couple of shots. Felt like I had a lot of room there, felt like I got the right side through really nicely. So that's drill number one. Drill number two is more of a trail side feel, trail arm feel. So for me, my right arm, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my backswing, say right around here. So hand is say mid-thigh, club head is maybe just above the waist there. I'm going to put my right hand on the club shaft at an angle. Imagine I was pushing down the plane. Okay, so I'm going to put my right hand on the club shaft there, like I'm going to push the club down the plane here. So I'm in a nice balanced position with my lower body there. And so I'm pushing on the club shaft and I'm almost resisting the release with my lead side. So my lead side has to open to resist the release. So I don't want to get too much release here. So as I'm pushing my right hand, I'm pulling through from my lead side. And you can see how easily then I can clear my trail side there. So I get a really nice feel doing this exercise here. Gives me a good sense of my right hand and where it needs to go through the shot, as well as I'm pushing on the club shaft there. So that's number two. Couple of those. I mean, I always like it when the ball's on the ground to rehearse as well, so you can have a good sense of how the segments move in space in relation to where the ball would be. Yeah, good one there. Felt like I had a lot of room, felt like I got the right side through really nicely. The third exercise takes a little bit more practice. It's more of a dynamic way of training to create space so you can actually then get your trail side through the shot quite nicely. You can see me working through the feels now. So all I'm going to do is get set up. As I take my backswing, I'm going to step back, really feel as though I load nicely in the trail hip. I'm also reaching through the lead arm just to create space between my hands and my body when I do this. So the nice thing about this is because you're loading well into your trail side, you maintain that space between your body and the ball, but also in the width, you're creating even more room for your trail side for when you move into the downswing. So let's have a go at hitting one like that. tricky one you have to kind of practice a little bit. So I'm going to go to the top, load into that right side, step back, and then in through the shot. See if I can feel as though I keep my space and have more room for my trail side through it doing that. Yeah, nice one there. That one felt pretty good there. And you don't actually have to hit shots doing that. You can just do the rehearsal and then step back and just have a move through. Feels like you get through. But again, another good one there. If you work on it, gives you a good sense of getting through the shot nicely. Yeah, good one there after those three. Very common movement pattern I find for players wanting to feel like they get through the shot a little bit better. Getting stuck is a common one that I get. Hopefully you got something there that you can kind of fall back on or play around with next time you go to the range if you don't quite have your training aids or other tools that you may use.